Hey, it's Adriana here. Before we get into today's episode, I want to invite you to something special. I'm hosting a series of hypnotic writing workshops called Writing with the Unconscious. They're designed to help you bypass your inner critic and tap into the deeper, stranger, more luminous parts of your mind. These aren't just for poets or novelists. If you write to reflect, to process, to remember who you are, if you keep a journal or scribble in the margins or jot down thoughts in the Notes app in your phone, these are for you too. Each workshop is centered on a theme, and through guided trance, we'll journey inward to the part of you that already knows what wants to be said. If you're feeling stuck or longing to rediscover your own voice and fall back in love with the joy of words, come write with me. The first workshop is August 27th, and the link to register is in the show notes. I would love to see you there. You're listening to How to Drink Less, and I'm your host, Adriana Cloud. Whether your goal is to cut back, take a break, or say goodbye to alcohol for good, this podcast will help you stop drinking on autopilot, learn how to manage cravings, and feel fully in control around alcohol. It's easier than you think. Listen on to find out how. Hey everyone! Today's episode is for those moments when you drank more than you had intended to, or more than you wanted to. Maybe you'd planned to stop at one drink, but somehow you had five and don't remember how you got home. Or maybe it was just a random Tuesday when you'd sworn you'd take the night off, but then your neighbor showed up with a bottle of wine to thank you for watering their plants last week, and you couldn't resist opening it. Or maybe you were doing great for weeks, staying dry or drinking very intentionally and only when it felt good. But then a wave of grief swept you up, or a triggering conversation caught you off guard, and suddenly you were saying, fuck it, I need a drink. If this has happened to you recently, or even just more times than you'd like, I want you to know you're not alone. Even people who've never had a quote unquote drinking problem sometimes end up drinking more than they intended. And if you're someone who's actively working to change your drinking habits, it can feel especially discouraging and overwhelming when you slip back into an old pattern. So, in this episode, I want to help you move through those moments with as much grace and compassion as you can muster. Because odds are, those moments will happen. No matter how committed you are to changing your habits, and no matter how long you've been working on building a better relationship with alcohol, at some point or another, you might still find yourself in the aftermath of a slip up or a binge. So let's talk about what to do when that happens. Step one is to take care of your body. Before you go into analyzing or judging anything, remember that you're not a brain floating in a jar. You're an animal in an animal body, and alcohol is hard on the system. So the very first thing to do is to take care of the body. Drink lots of fluids, water, coconut water, other liquids enhanced with electrolytes, because alcohol is a diuretic, which means it dehydrates you, so you need replenishment. Then eat something nourishing. Don't fall for the frat boy wisdom of eating something greasy to soak up the booze. Go for something light with protein, something balanced, something that your body will actually appreciate. If you're nauseous, then things like toast, plain crackers, broth, bananas, these are a good place to start. And if it feels good, take a short walk or do some light stretching, do something physical. But not a punishing workout or a 10K run to sweat off the hangover. You're not trying to exercise last night out of your system. You're just trying to take care of yourself and reconnect with your body. Step two is to separate your behavior from your identity. You drank X number of drinks. That's an action you took. That's your behavior. But it's not you. So notice your self-talk here. Are you saying things like, I'm hopeless, I'll never change, what's wrong with me? If so, pause and say to yourself, I had a drink I didn't want. Or I had a drink I wasn't planning to have. That's something I did. It's not who I am. What happened on one particular day does not define you. It's one data point, not a verdict on your character or on your worth as a human being or on your ability to change your drinking habits. You are more than the sum of your actions. And this applies even if it's not the first time you found yourself overdrinking. Step 3 is to remember that your work is not lost. 4 margaritas do not erase your progress. A drunk argument with your partner does not erase your progress. Whatever work you have done on yourself and on your relationship with alcohol still counts. I use this example with my clients a lot. If you eat a salad with lunch every day during the week, and then you have an ice cream on Saturday, the ice cream does not erase the nutrients from the salads. Those salads still nourished your body and provided a benefit. It's the same with working out. Not working out on a Tuesday doesn't erase the workout you did on Monday. And same with drinking. Every time you've practiced saying no to a drink, every time you paused before you refilled your glass, every time you chose the non-alcoholic beer, that's you building your new habit. That's you practicing showing up differently, and that work does not get erased in a night of drinking. Step 4 is to choose curiosity over punishment. We often think that beating ourselves up will prevent future mistakes, but self-punishment is not a sustainable strategy. You can't guilt yourself into lasting change. So instead of telling yourself you need to be more disciplined and devising cruel, restrictive rules without an actual plan for how you're going to follow them, get curious about what happened. Here's some questions you can ask yourself. What was going on for me that day? How was I feeling? What did I need in that moment when I reached for the drink? What made it hard to say no to the drink? What could make it easier to say no next time? This is how you learn and how you build emotional resilience and the skills to make different choices, by evaluating what happened, not by making yourself wrong and self-flagellating. And step 5 is to commit to self-compassion like your life depends on it. I know, it's easier said than done. I'll be honest with you, this is an area where I still have so much work to do. I've come a long way since my drinking days, but to this day, this is something I'm working on. I catch myself all the time having impossible perfectionist standards for myself, and then judging myself incredibly harshly and cruelly when I, inevitably, fail to achieve perfection because, duh, nobody's perfect. So I get it. I know it's a lot easier for most of us to be kind to other people and to make allowances for other people's mistakes than it is to allow ourselves to be fallible and to not be perfect. But we have to try. Self-compassion is also a skill we can develop, and we can absolutely get better at it as we practice. So here are a few reminders I'm going to give you, and you can pick 1 or 2 that resonate, or come up with your own and commit to practicing them early and often. First, try to depersonalize this. Instead of focusing on you as the individual, zoom out and use the collective language. Something like, we all have nights we regret, and that just makes us human. Or, everyone makes mistakes. And you can also try asking yourself what you would say to your best friend or a younger relative that you love if they found themselves in your situation. Shifting the focus away from you might give you a bit more objectivity, and therefore it might be easier to find compassion. Then remind yourself that you were doing your best with the tools and the capacity you had in that moment. Of course, you reached for the most familiar form of relief. Your brain was trying to solve a problem or fulfill a need, and alcohol seemed like the best way to do that at the time. There was logic behind your actions. Another reframe I love is that slip-ups are just stepping stones. They're not taking you off your path, they are the path. Like that saying goes, the obstacles are the way, or The obstacle is the way. These data points are the way towards the future you're building. Progress is never linear, and it's absurd and really unfair to yourself to expect that your journey towards a more intentional relationship with alcohol will be a straight line. I also encourage you to remind yourself that regret is information. You feel regret about what happened because you care about your well being and your commitment and your values. And that's something to be proud of, not ashamed of. The mere fact that you're not indifferent to what happened last night is proof that you are in the process of changing. And even just awareness alone is change. The fact that you're here listening to this, thinking about what happened, reconsidering your choices and your goals, that's growth. You're not where you used to be, and that matters. And finally, remember that you get to choose what happens next. You can't undo the past, but you get to decide what this moment means. You can decide it's a dead end, or you can decide it's a turning point. That's the difference between I'm hopeless, this is too hard, I'll never change, or this is part of the process. I'm learning. I slipped, but I'm still on the path. It might also help you to zoom out. 6 months from now, 2 years from now, 15 years from now, is it really going to matter if on this particular Wednesday you finished the bottle of wine even though you were 2 days into a 30-day break from drinking? No. Odds are you won't even remember it at all. But your power lies in what you decide to do next, right now. So be gentle. You can take responsibility for what happened and be honest with yourself that it's not the outcome you had wanted or planned for, but you don't have to beat yourself up about it and stay in the shame spiral. And if this is happening more often than you'd like, and you're looking for support to break the patterns and build up your resilience and self-compassion, then let's talk. I can help you. I offer free consultations, no strings attached, and you can book yours via the link in the show notes. Take good care of yourself, and I'll talk to you soon. If you're looking for practical advice for how to say no to alcohol and say yes to yourself, you will want to get on my email list. Sign up to receive my free guide with 7 steps to kickstart your sobriety. The link is in the show notes, so go and grab it now, and I'll see you soon in your inbox.